What do men look for in a perfect wife? In today's podcast, Sissy and I, we're going to go over some of the things that she thinks that I look for in a woman to make her perfect. So stay tuned.
Hey, Bristol friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Misogyny Podcast. I am your girl, Cece, and I'm joined by my husband here. What's up, babe?
Hey everybody, this is Will, and welcome back to another episode of the Blissology Podcast. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on the bell icon so we can tell you when videos like this come out. Now, this podcast come out every week.
That's right.
And in this podcast, we talk about
love, life, family, relationships, and whatever's going on, we gonna talk about it here.
She is right. Now, before we get into the topic of the day, we'd like to go into what we call the blissful moment. So here it is.
All right, babe, what's your blissful moment?
My hip hurts. It's not blissful, but that's what my whole week has been about. I've been limping because my hip hurts.
Okay.
Out of the blue, I don't know what I did.
I didn't do it.
My left hip has been hurting me. So I don't know. I think I was doing something squatting the other day. I was cocking some joints. Yeah, that's what happened. But yes, it's been a little painful. Makes you feel old. Yeah. And my wrist again is back hurting me. I was looking for my brace to put it on. And I think it was probably that same thing because I was kind of like on my hand like this at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. These things kind of happen.
So basically you're broken.
Yeah, I'm kind of broken right now.
Like, you must have had a great vacation then. If you go back to work, after a week.
But you know what? These things didn't happen while I was on vacation.
It's not like you did a whole lot of work.
No, I didn't.
On vacation, so I don't know where you would be like hurting yourself.
I don't know.
Not here. I didn't do it.
But that's been my week, and I've been complaining. You should see me getting off my chair.
Yeah, he's been complaining. It's like day 2 with this hip thing. Okay, now
I work on my feet.
It's like, him getting on the bed or getting off the bed.
Just getting a night's sleep.
And now, we get a little cuddle before I fall asleep. I couldn't cuddle. We gotta go to the other side. I'm like, all right, I'll just grab my pillow and cuddle and fall asleep.
Well, that's why.
So he's been complaining. But
it's getting better. I think it's getting better.
Okay.
So I gotta.
Y'all know how it is when men is when you guys have something going on. When men have something going on, they just like they're like a baby. They whine about it. They, it was so funny. The night before, he was like.
No. So she's making that up.
And then I was like, baby, you want some help? You want me to massage it for you? You want me to do something? No.
And she knew that she wanted nothing to do with massaging my hip.
Got that right?
She wanted nothing to do with it,
but at least I was, giving you.
She's covered from head to toes. She's asking me if I wanted to come massage my hip.
But hey, listen, at least I acknowledge that you were not feeling well and I wanted to help.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Maybe now I'll take her up on the massage.
I would have massaged it.
Okay. Then you will.
But you better now.
So I can use a hip massage.
You better now.
But anyway, I don't know what happened, but I must have done something. I mean, it's not common that I have this type of pain, but it was a bit unusual. And, you don't realize how important your hip is, because every step you take.
Why do you sound so old?
Every step you take is on the hip.
What would my dad say? My dad had shingles, which was like the painful thing ever.
Well, we go through pain. This is life. Life is full of painful moments. And we're bound to go through them. Some are more painful than others, but that's life. I'm just saying my pain was a little bit, a lot is riding on our hips, on our back. I think every part of our body plays a role that sometimes we take for granted until it doesn't quite work. And then we realize, geez, like up until this, I never thought about my hip. I just kind of go about my days, do my thing. That's an unfair. We don't think about something until it's not working.
Until it's not working.
Yeah.
And now you see the importance of having good hips, huh?
It's important. So
Now what are you gonna do now, baby?
I got to make sure that I listen. I had
Gotta make sure you work out.
I had a session with my fitness coach, just to make sure I get back into my fitness thing. So we had a good conversation, put a good plan together. I got to, because I can't imagine.
Did you tell her about your hip?
Yeah, I told her about my hip. She was like, man, I'm sorry to hear that, but since your plan is to get back working out, you do have to be cautious, because whatever's going on with your hip, you don't want to make it worse. And I told her, yeah, I understand, but it's getting better now. I think I'm good. But I can only imagine what people that has to deal with this on a daily basis, how uncomfortable and inconvenient and painful that is. I mean, listen, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with my hip, but I felt that. And it made me miserable for a few days. So whatever you can do to get yourself in top shape in terms of health, do that. Your sanity will love you for it.
True.
Yeah, but I'm better now. So but that wasn't quite a blissful moment for me. It was like a venting session.
Yeah, let
So,
you have it.
What was your blissful moment?
We don't want to go through that.
So mine was
we
so epic. You have nothing to share.
You were whining so much about your hips, so we might as well just keep going.
Anyway, I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me vent about my hip thing. Mm-hmm. So let's get into the topic of the day, which is, what do men look for in a woman that would make them the perfect wife?
Yes.
I should know because I have one.
Yeah, you do have one?
Yeah, she's got her own issues, but I'm willing to look beyond those issues.
Beyond those issues.
But anyway, so
I truly feel like, although this is something that was emailed to me by anonymous, right? And the person wanted to know, hey, why not talk about
what makes a woman a perfect woman?
But then when I got the email, I'm like, there really isn't such a thing as a perfect wife, because we all have issues.
Yeah, there isn't.
Yeah.
Listen, I think sis is great for me. I'm great for her, but we have a disagreement. We have moments of well, we don't scream, but our moments of
disagreement,
disputes, and not seeing eye to eye on certain things. So,
and a lot of things sometimes.
The qualities that men look for in a woman that would get them to perfect will differ from one man to another.
Right.
And no two men will view the same woman the same way.
Right.
I may think you perfect. The next guy may think that, geez, I wouldn't want to be you. Right. So some men are looking for someone who's goofy, someone who makes them laugh or laugh at their silly jokes.
Their corny jokes, You
laugh at my jokes, but
I do.
Mine are good jokes,
Some of them okay. Yeah. Some of them are like, I love you, but it wasn't that funny kind of joke.
Yeah. I mean, some men love women who's like business driven. It's all business, And sometimes you wonder, do they ever get intimate? But because they all,
which is kind of similar to what we do. I feel like we do talk about business.
No, but I'm talking about when they're like uptight.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And some men like someone that they can sit around, they read the papers together, and then they have a conversation afterwards. Like those are the scholars, those fancy people. Mm-hmm. So it varies. We all want different people, and we want different things in them.
Yeah, we all different. like you said earlier,
we are.
the way you view me, you see me as this perfect wife.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody else may see me as, all right, this girl has issues. She's too much, and I'm not able to handle her.
Sometimes I even think that.
I mean, unless you're honest, it's okay. I know I'm a lot to handle, but that's okay. You knew that before you married me, so you knew the baggage before we got married.
But so today what we want to talk about is obviously think about the qualities that make a woman a good woman. Obviously, from a man's perspective. Mm-hmm. So, gentlemen, I want to tell the ladies what type of girl that, well, me and most likely many of you would be looking for. So when I cover some of the traits that may not necessarily mean, must have, but they're good indicators.
Right.
In helping you determine, would this be a good woman for me? Or should I just pack myself up and move on?
Yeah. Because, last week we talked about wife material last week.
Yeah.
So now you're going to spill the tea about the perfect wife?
Or at least what some men may see as perfect.
Yeah. Yes. Especially to the...
So the first thing I would start with, which has been mentioned in this podcast over and over and over, communication. Mm-hmm. You got to have someone you can talk with. So, the perfect wife is someone who can communicate, but truly and honestly about their feelings.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I would say, some of us are bad at reading signs. I'm one of them. If you're going to tell me something, come straight out and tell me.
He's like, give it to me straight.
Well, yes.
Don't be bushing around. Don't corner around. But I'm one of those people where I don't like giving it to you straight. I want you to guess what I'm thinking.
Well, she's learned. If something's going on, just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you could be waving that red flag or that sign from morning until night. Well, I may get it, but many times I may not. And if I don't get it, we bound to run into arguments. So Cece's learned that be open and let me know what's going on.
Yes, guys, listen.
And then we'll deal with it.
I agree, because I remember when we were like in our early stage of dating, I would just be so tired of like,
why can't I get that?
Why can't he get it? Like, I like giving you signs. I don't like
need
telling you
signs.
out because I love surprises. I'm one of those girls where I want you like, oh, I pay attention. I got it. I see the clue you were, red flagging me at, or you were waving the flag and I got it. I got it.
Some men get, obviously over time, you'd learn little things.
But you don't learn signs.
See? I just can't get credit.
You don't learn signs, baby.
Well, don't sign me. Just come out and tell me straight, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we need to do.
But you're doing better. You still don't learn sign, but you're doing better.
I have to. I mean, I've grown. But you still got to come straight and let me know what's going on. Don't expect me to get it 100. So we want someone who's open to communicating and share what's going on.
Yeah, and sometimes I share too much and I communicate too much, and I know I'm too honest with him, and sometimes he gets tired.
The moment that I was thinking, I'm like, what the heck? Now, the second thing is, I want someone who's ambitious and someone who's strong. Yeah, so very important. We want to make sure that, I want to make sure that my woman can be independent.
Oh, they probably want to make sure they have a woman who's ambitious and strong.
Yeah, but those fall right along the line of being independent, meaning that you by my side.
Right.
And where I fall, you can help me pick up, because we're bound to run into hard times, hardships. And when you have someone who breaks down before you break down, you want someone who's strong that could say, you know what, pick up yourself and get things done. Not someone who's gonna sit around and cry. No. You're a woman who's strong. So a woman that's gonna, if you're living off the path, you're kind of like drifting to the wrong way, they can knock you back in place.
Yeah, same thing that we talked about last week with my parents, that with my dad, with the whole visa thing where he kind of gave up, and my mom is like, listen, go give it another try, go find out if you get it or not. So that's something that's good, having a woman who's going to help you. Hey, you're not laying down, or just because you fall back doesn't mean you're gonna stay there.
Yeah.
We got to pick up and keep moving.
Yeah. Someone who's self-sufficient, someone who's supportive, someone who's driven. And that helps us be more secure in ourselves when we know that we have a partner who's really there.
I'm very driven. I think I got this from my mom.
Yeah.
I'm very
Her drive
driven.
caused me a lot of work. She wants this, and then I have to figure out the ways to make it work.
Yes, I'm very driven, and I get bored for doing the same thing for a period of time. So I'm very driven, and I think you know that. And I think it's good that for you to have someone like me, because you need someone like me to tell you, let's go.
And listen, all of us would run into, would get into some bad habits, and sometimes we can get demotivated.
Yeah.
Especially if we've been doing the same thing over and over and over.
Right.
Sometimes we need someone to say, hey, get it together.
That's right.
There's this thing that says behind any successful man, there is a strong woman. I'd more rather say next to any successful man, there's a strong man. Because you want your woman right next to you.
Yeah.
Helping you and driving you.
Right.
Just make sure you support, because believe me, we run into like crazy stuff mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yes.
And when you have a woman who's strong, who can really help you get through those things, or at least get you in the car and take you to a shrink, sometimes that's what's needed. It's reassuring to know that you have someone who can stand with you and help you. But so that's a quality that we look in women.
Yes.
Women who can help us deal with the shenanigans and the craziness that we're about to run into this life. And there's a lot of them.
I agree.
Yeah. And obviously, career-wise, we want someone who's driven and wants to be something beyond what they are now. Want to make something of themselves, or want me to make something of myself. Not someone who's just satisfied with whatever
happened.
happens.
Yeah. And I think it's good too for you to know what you want out of life.
Yeah.
And it's good for you to have a career. That way, if anything fall back, you have something to fall back into. Yeah. So it's definitely important. I just think this is my view on things. As I'm not the perfect wife, but I think it's good to have that.
Absolutely. Another thing is you need someone who values relationship, because as men, we get insecure sometimes, and sometimes more than many people think.
But you guys hide it so well.
Well, listen, we brought up in a society where we have to display strength at all costs. We have to display competence at all costs. But many men will go in a corner and cry a little bit, out of sight, out of view. No, I haven't cried. I had moments where I asked God, hey, listen, I can't figure this out. Help me. But we run into a moment of insecurity, and having a partner who can reassure us that they love us and they want the best for us, it makes us feel valued.
Yeah.
And it gives us the strength to know that, you know what, things may be the way it is right now, but I'm in a good relationship with someone who understands me, someone who's there to help me get through this. And, when men sees that you're putting in the effort to make sure that the relationship works, to make sure that you push them, that gives them the strength to do the same thing,
Right.
Put in the effort back and make sure to keep working at it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, this just got to work more at. Physically active, not just her being physically active. She needs to make sure that I'm still physically active. Hey, listen, we used to work out together.
A lot.
We used to, and it was fun.
Before we got married, we were really into it. You'll stop by my parents.
I forced you to go into the gym.
Yeah, well, not forced. I look forward to going to the gym. You would stop by my parents, pick me up, and then we'd go to the gym together. Yeah, I still work out.
Maybe even after we got married. I mean, after we converted our garage into a gym, we had
the kids in there. I'll do my Zumba. I'm going back and do it again. But I feel like I'm okay, but I still need to lose 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah. And obviously we don't want to make exercise. The goal is always be to losing weight. We want exercise to be a lifestyle to stay healthy. And this is the route that I think this is the one thing that, yes, we're together. Before we got married, we were a lot more committed to working out, and then we got married, and slowly but surely other thing takes priority. But that's something.
Sometimes we're on, sometimes we're off, sometimes we're on, sometimes we're off. There'll be a season where we're like, okay, baby, we going hard, like 3 months into it, and then once the summer hit, okay, we are out of here. I mean, it's just I truly feel like it's we're not consistent about it.
Yeah, yes. But man, we do look for someone who's physically active.
Yeah.
It's very attractive to have a woman who takes care of themselves physically. Mm-hmm. If you weren't the way you were, I probably would not have picked you.
But baby, I was very skinny too, right?
But yeah, that physical activity and someone staying physically active is something we'll look for.
Yes, I agree.
And obviously we will get engaged in these activities together. Hence, Cece and I, before we got married, we were gym buddies.
Yeah, and I think sometimes
she made me pay for the membership too.
We did together. We did.
She made me pay for the membership.
I did not make you paid. I didn't have something on. I did not make you paid. I just felt like, hey, we needed the commitment. You know how when you need to commit, you need to pay for something that will make you go, but a lot of time it doesn't work. I come to realize that even if you pay for it, you still don't go.
Yeah.
But
the physical activities are very important. We look for that in someone that we're getting with. Now, not all of us. I know some people who don't, but many of us do. So I know every man, would dream of being able to have their woman on their back and do some push-ups. Mm-hmm. I can't do that right now. But eventually I'm looking to be able to build some stronger muscles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
I don't know how much Sissy weight, but
150.
I'm sure I should be able to push that, but not right now. But this is all part of.
I wish I weighed 150.
Listen, you'll only be able to do that if you're physically active, and that's important. And you want to make sure that the spouse, the person that you're with, is just as active as you are.
Yes.
And I'd say a woman who works out is attractive on many levels, if you know what I mean.
All righty now.
Yeah.
Okay, baby. Okay, I see where you're going.
Of course you see where I'm going. You know where I've been. Anyway, so so financial responsibility is another trait that's important as well. Now, listen, we all have spent money on things that we shouldn't have. However, being able to know what makes sense and what doesn't make sense is a plus when it comes to getting with someone. Because if you know we're tight on money, you don't want someone who'd say, you know what, I don't care. I want this and I want this now. And before it becomes an issue. So you need someone who understands what it means to be financially responsible, someone who can control their impulse in terms of purchasing things, someone who can delay some gratification to when it's right to do. So, listen, I know I've
spent money on things that you shouldn't, like electronic stuff and gadgets and all that.
We all have.
A bunch of gadgets for no reason.
No. Listen, I may have one or two. I'm thinking about the guitar that I have sitting in the dining room for
the last 5 years, and nothing. It's just collecting dust.
I do intend to learn how to play.
Okay, we'll see about that.
When Cece allows me some time, it's because
I don't allow. You are entitled to have your time to play, sir. I don't put, a certain time that you're supposed to be doing things.
Yeah, but the financial responsibility is important. Know what makes sense in terms of spending money. Know what makes sense in terms of when to spend money and what to spend money on.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're not going to buy things that pleases you. You must. I think we all should. But if that expense was not budgeted for and it's going to put us in a tight spot, then no.
Yeah, good thing you married a wife who's not a spender. Because I know me for sure, y'all, like I don't really we have the money. I don't really care much for having things, expensive things. If I see this at Target for $19, $10.99, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. As opposed to go to the mall and pay $50 for
But she
it.
was born with a gift. Anything looks good on her.
Oh,
I give her
hey,
that
come
gift.
on,
I give her
baby,
that
come
gift. I give
on.
her
This
that
was good. This was good. This was
Yes.
really good.
There are some people that did throw anything on, it fits them.
That's me. You can take me to Walmart. You can take me to Target. I'll wear whatever that I'm wearing, and I look good. I'm good.
Yeah,
This was good,
there's some
baby.
people that were born with that gift. And if you do, yes. If you happen to see that quality in a wife, that anything they get cheap or expensive still looks good on them, go for that woman. You can save a lot of money. Yeah. If your woman can buy anything and they'll rock it, they'll make it look good. Yeah.
Hello.
You can save a boatload of money.
That's right.
So, but yeah, it's good to be financially responsible, which means, hey, listen, if you're crazy for brand name, if you have the money, by all means, just do that. But
Invest the money in something. Don't go ahead.
invest the
Don't go
money.
buy a Louis Vuitton clothes if you don't need it. Like, who's gonna?
If you take a couple of $1,000s, you put it in some stuff right now. I'm not going to say what, but you can make decent amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, if it's clothes, like you wearing this, there's brand clothes, there's clothes that you know that you wear. People can already tell who made it, where the clothes is
But a lot of
from.
times you wear these things just to
But,
show
yeah.
people what you can afford. I don't
Basically,
care
but
about that.
yeah, I do understand that, sir.
Yeah, so financially, be financially responsible. Look for that in someone you're looking to. Man, 'cause
Yes.
you will think yourself in the future after you've married that person.
That is so true.
Yeah, and as we get older, there's a lot of things that we view differently. You know, there's a lot of things that we may have spent money on when we were younger, and now we get older, we've become wiser. We're like, really? This doesn't make sense anymore. So we see the world differently and we treat things differently.
Yes, I agree.
So financial responsibility, it changes as you get older and as you grow older with this person. You tend to have different tastes, different views, and different wants and different needs.
Yeah, I agree. And I know sometimes, you gotta, listen, you gotta open to things. I'm sure that's one of your traits, right?
Open to things, huh?
Open to new things.
Well, yes. I mean, you have to sexually speaking, you have to be open in terms of
Oh,
what's
I know you was
needed,
going there. I know
what's
you were going there.
expected. Because in any relationship, sex is a huge factor in determining, the health of that relationship itself. Because we all physical beings, we want that physical contact.
Yeah.
And men can sometimes have wild expectations in bed that may not be normal. However, be open to discuss those things, but have someone who's comfortable. Look for that trait in that person that you're with. Someone who's comfortable having these
Right.
conversations.
Right.
There are people that were brought up in household where these were conversations that were taboo.
Yeah.
You don't talk about that stuff. And then, as they form their own families, that still becomes something you don't talk about. You kind of jump in, get it done, and then be out and forget that you ever did it.
True.
No, you got to be open to have these conversations, because sometimes partners may have some really crazy expectations in what they'll get. And if it's not going to happen, be open and talk about it. Maybe you'll find some ways to make some of it happen, or maybe none of it happen. But at least, you talked about it, right? And the relationship has those physical intimacy
Yeah.
present in there. It tends to be a much healthier relationship.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
so-
we're comfortable.
Yeah. So be open to have those conversations, those adventures.
Why is he so excited?
I'm always excited about things like that.
It excites you, huh?
and this is what's important as you pick someone, you got to make sure that you're sexually compatible. Quality in a good woman is someone who's adventurous, who's willing to try different things, and who's willing to do things that that sometimes could be unusual, but experimental.
That sometimes could be hips broken.
No comments. Yeah. But be adventurous. Enjoy life, enjoy the moment with each other, and that keep things alive. It keep things spicy, I would say.
Yeah.
That's a word I should be using.
Well, yes, you gotta spice it up,
right? So in men loves that. We love a freak in the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a girl
loves a freak in the bed as well. But anyway, so let's move away from the subject of sex. But another thing that's important is that, listen, as men, sometimes we want to be alone. I have my moment. So respect.
And I do let you have your moment.
Respect your man's space.
I do let you have your space.
But don't put no timer on them.
Listen,
just let him be
sometimes
where
you be
he
taking
is.
too long, babe.
Just let
You
the
be
man be
taking
where he is
too
as long as he
long
wants to be.
sometimes. Y'all know how it is when a man is like in his own little world. He be taking too much space, washing the car for the last 2 or 3 hours. It's just too much.
See what I mean?
Okay.
She needs to respect my space. If I'm doing just let me be. Don't put a timer on it. Oh yeah, it's how much longer are you going to be? No, just let me be. Maybe I'll be at the whole day.
Listen, I have no problem whatsoever for you to be like disappear into your caveman, they call it, right?
I don't have a caveman.
Your caveman, I feel like it's either the garage or the bathroom, because those are the two places that I don't see you, and you are away from me and the girls. So therefore, you are having your own spare time in your own, doing your own thing. Like sometimes I'm like, babe, how long you be in the bathroom for? More than an hour sometimes. Like,
No, she's exaggerating.
Or 30 minutes plus, 45 minutes close.
No.
Let's see maybe the most 45 minutes. 45. Y'all know how it is when men goes in the bathroom with their phone, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That's all they be doing.
I usually just read articles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
But the point I was making is that know that sometimes your man needs some space, sometime alone.
And I think so.
Let him be.
And I think it's okay for your men to do that. I think it's okay. Just like we have our alone time.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just do whatever you gotta do. Just like sometimes I want to be able to go in the bath and spend an hour in the bathroom or just be myself at night.
And I won't even come and ask you how much longer you've had.
And then before you know it, mommy.
Oh, that's your kids. You need to just tell you just need to tell your kids not to call
mommy.
you. That's not me. But respect.
Daddy needs you.
Respect your man's space. We love our time. We love that little time that we get for ourselves. And then, some of us have hobbies that could be time consuming sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, you can't be spending every day on your hobbies. That's not healthy. But if it's a weekend you're going to spend working on that hobby and you preset, hey, baby, this weekend, this is for me to do my stuff, then allow them to do it. That's not when you start putting that list. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. What are you talking about? We have stuff. You can't. No. Find another time for them to do that. Because we need that. That's important for us.
Yeah, I agree. And I know this is one thing for sure. And I support that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have someone who's supportive on, because we all have different little things that we want to do that may be outside of what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Just allow me to be. Like when it comes to electronics, I like that stuff. I like sitting there and configuring things and take things down and put them back up.
I'm watching a lot of YouTubes.
I watch a lot of YouTubes to learn about some new process and procedures and handling certain things. Just let me be, because if you see me doing it, there's usually a plan in the near future or the far future that I'm going to engage in a project where those skills and those knowledge will be helpful. So let me be. And sometimes we use those things as a way to disconnect.
And I support that. Just sometimes I think you just spend so much time, but I support it. And I encourage you to do what you need to do. Yeah. And I let you be. And I think that's what we as the wife, the girlfriend, whatever, we need to support the fact that they need their own space, they need their time.
And we need your support.
Yeah. And support is definitely important. Listen, support is important. This is when they take the time to work on their issues, right? They need to take the time to work on whatever they need to work on.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why I support it.
Allow us to do our stuff. But another thing that's important, in any relationship, you're bound to run into issues. And when it comes those time that you're running into issues, you need to work on those issues, obviously at the right time, but together.
Because men are known for holding things up and not letting
we don't want
their
to be crybabies.
feelings known. They don't want to share their feelings. They don't want to talk about what they feel like. And what happened is
we hold it in.
Yes.
We hold it in sometimes, and with the hopes that we can deal with them on our own and never bring it up. But sometimes it does have to come out. But one thing I say is that don't ever force it out of your man, because sometimes they may not be ready to talk at that time. So
listen, I know my man. I know when there's something wrong. I know when we have our meeting time.
Oh, I'm open.
I know we have a meeting time. Like, babe, I know something's wrong with you. What's wrong? What's going on? Because I can see there's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah, she knows when my mood change.
I know. And you do the same thing for me too. When I'm like not in a good mood.
Yeah. And obviously I've learned to open up more. But what I'd say is when, women, it's good to understand that sometimes it may not be the right time trying to get your man to talk. Because sometimes we got to process things on our own before we can come out open and discuss it. So if something's going on and you try to bring it up in a conversation and your man's not, he may be that this is not quite the right time to discuss this, and allow him, because sometimes we got to really process things before we have conversations about it. And what I said to any man is that be willing to have a conversation about things at one point. Don't just keep it in for the rest of your life, because eventually it's going to blow, it's going to come out, and it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
You're going to take a day or so to process it and kind of get your head together, because sometimes there are things that happens. You reacting instead of responding. So if you're going to take a moment to really process it, make sure that you're in a good place to actually have an intelligent discussion, then take that time. But don't just brush it off and pretend it never happened. If something happened, it did happen, so deal with it. So the truth is it's not hard to please us. No, most time we get frustrated due to miscommunication and sometimes misinterpretation of things that may have happened. So reliability and sound judgment is among some of the top qualities we'll look for in a good woman. And if we have those things in place, good communication, good judgment, and that doesn't mean sometimes we won't screw things up, but if we screw something up and we're willing to sit down and discuss it and make it right, that's golden. So if you find a woman that possesses those qualities, don't expect them to be perfect. Just expect them to be a good partner.
Amen.
Because at the end of it, that's all we need. Someone who's good to us, good to our children, good to themselves, good to their families, and good to our families. That's all we need. It doesn't take much to keep us happy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about stuff. Let's be supportive. And let's be as strategic in our judgment as we can.
I agree.
So everybody, we appreciate you listening to our podcast. And what do men look for in a woman to make them perfect? We know that there's no such thing as a perfect woman, but there is a thing such as a good partner. And that's all we need. So if you're out there looking for the perfect woman, expect that you will not find it, but you can find a good partner to live with. And be ready to work through issues. When that does happen, you have to approach things with an open mind and be willing to compromise at time. And that's on both parts. Let me just say it. The compromising has to happen on both parts.
Yes. Yes.
And you'll find you'll have a pretty decent life, a pretty decent relationship. You'll set the right example for your children, your families, your friend will look up to you and thinks that you have the perfect life. You just need to let them know, hey, listen, I'm taking it a day at a time and I'm working at it the best that I could.
No
So again, guys, thank you very much for listening to our podcast.
Yes.
Please share this especially if you know someone who's looking for a perfect person. So I'm hoping that we answered the question that anonymous user asked via email. And just bear in mind, as I mentioned earlier, there is no perfect woman, no perfect wife. There's no perfect human being. But there are good partners. So if you were looking for someone and you need to find out some of the traits to look for in that person, I hope we've highlighted a few things that you can look into. And as you look for those things in that partner, remember, you got to have those things in yourself.
Right.
We asking for our partner to be supportive. We have to be supportive ourselves. We asking our partners to be adventurous. We have to be adventurous ourselves. We asking our partners to respect our time. We have to respect their time as well. Right? That's all important. So good luck to you, and hopefully you find what you're looking for. In the meantime, everybody else, please keep supporting the podcast. Keep sharing. Keep subscribing if you haven't been subscribed. I know many of you guys are watching, you haven't subscribed yet. Please do so and share it. So we appreciate you. Until then, keep looking for that partner. Peace.